Evaluating chess positions, in my opinion, is probably the hardest thing to do in chess when you get better at the higher levels. Calculation is one thing, it's tangible, tactics, calculation, all that. But to be able to evaluate is to combine the tangible, mathematical part of your brain that can calculate, and then taking the abstract part of your brain and pretty much deciphering a position that arises from those calculations and just basically interpreting whether you think a position is better or not. And in this game against the strong 1900 player, we both make mistakes here, but the surprising, not so much surprising part is, but the key thing that stands out here is the evaluation skills. And I evaluate the position a couple of times completely wrong here. And I have a video, and I'll link it here in this video, that the main difference between like a 2500-ish player or a grandmaster and like a master or a 2200 rated player is basically, it's not so much calculation skills, but it's evaluation skills and how players can start evaluating at higher levels really, really well. Anyway, here the game's even, not much to talk about here. I'm trying to take space in the center, and here I just play a very aggressive move. My idea here was I'm attacking the pawn twice, and if he tries to defend it, I have check, winning the rook, which is always good. And if he also defends it like this, I would just throw in this check and then win the pawn, so that works out too. So if he defends like this, which he did, I'm just going to put pressure on the bishop. And now he played b3. But now he evaluated, and now he's a strong player, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he saw queen d4 check winning the rook. So he allowed that, but he evaluated actually better than me here in this position. Because I evaluated after this check, I win the rook, and I saw, okay, he traps my queen, but now I get the pawn, and after he traps my queen, I get 2 rooks and a pawn for the queen. So 2 rooks are worth like 10 pawns if you want to get really rigid and dogmatic about the valuation of the chess pieces, and the queen is worth 9. So if I got 2 rooks and a pawn, that's like 11 points or 11 pawns basically, and the queen is worth 9, so I'm up like 2 pawns. Now he has the bishop pair, so we have to take that into effect. However, I would address this. I would say this whole position is, slightly better for me. That's why I went for it. However, he's actually completely winning here. And even though I'm up material, slightly, but up material, he's completely winning. He's up plus 2.5. And I really don't even have a good justification of why he's up winning. That's the thing. I don't really understand. He's not really threatening anything. He can't win by force or anything. Doesn't have any specific tactic. It's just in the long term, he's going to grind out a win in this position, according to the computer. If you guys are 2,700 or 2,600 and you have a reason why this is better, please feel free to comment in the comment section below. Or if you're just a regular player and you have an amateur player and you have an opinion on this, please comment and let me know, because I don't really see it. I looked it over with the computer and I still really don't see it. But here I played the best move. So he's attacking my pawn, and I just push. Now the point is, if he takes, I can take. He can't take back because of checkmate. So for that reason, after I push the pawn, he just moved back. I protect my pawn again, and now he plays a losing move. So now he plays c5, and that's not good. And it's not good because I have this move. I can just trade bishops. He takes my knight, and he evaluated that this was good for him, which he was wrong. And now I evaluated the way I capitalized on this was wrong too. So now what's going on here is I took his bishop, he took my knight. I can't just lose my bishop, so I can't take his pawn back, or I'll lose my bishop, right? So we can't have that. So here I was thinking about playing this move, and then he would play something like this maybe, and maybe I would have check, and that's one way of looking at the position. But I decided to go a different way. That's the best way to go, by the way. But I decided to play it like this, bishop d3, which I figured is okay. I'm attacking his queen. I'm still attacking this. He doesn't have time to take because I'll take his queen. So he has to play the move after bishop d3. He has to play an in-between move that keeps up the initiative. So after forcing me to play a defensive move or a reactionary move, and then he could take the pawn, which is what he did. He played queen c3, which is what I saw. And now I played rook f6. Now, rook f6 is the way to defend here. You might be thinking rook f7 is better because you're not in like line with the bishop ever. But this is a much more active way to defend. Your rook now can move laterally. And remember, if the queen moves away, you don't have to worry about this bishop. You just move out of the way yourself. There's no checkmates anymore. And more importantly, you can eventually defend g7 and be active at the same time by going to rook g6. So rook f6 is the way to go. And now my opponent took the pawn, which I saw. And now I figured, okay, I'm just going to take this pawn. Again, he can't take the bishop because of tactical reasons. So here he just queened, which is a mistake again. Now, what should he have done here? Probably just taken the pawn and he would be fine. But he queens here. I'm not sure why he would do that. Probably thought probably a blind spot. Probably thought I'm going to take, which I did. And then he's protecting his bishop. So there's no back rank mate. So when he takes the bishop, I can't take back. But then he probably forgot, well, when he takes the bishop, he's no longer protecting this bishop. So he can't do that. So sometimes we hit blind spots like that, due to fatigue later on in the game. Now he took, and, black is definitely better here. I come back, and he doesn't really know what to do. I take over the open file, and now he sets up a nice defense. He plays f4 first. I put my rook where I want it on g6. I'm cutting his king off, and I'm preparing to go to check him and get checkmate eventually at some point, or play c5 and play bishop c6, checkmate. So he pushes. I come here. He is defending this square right now. He throws in a check, and he plays bishop e5. Now, bishop e5 is a good move because it's blocking my rook. However, since my rook is here and I'm still threatening to, all I have to do is just throw in a check on this diagonal with my bishop, and I'm winning. Those two threats by themselves just give me a better position. Not to mention I'm up a pawn. So I play h5 here, just giving some air for my king and possibly maybe even stopping this pawn. So he would like to, play h4 himself at some point, and he should right now to give air for his king. But if I could, come up the board and just block that and, just block him and just smother the king, basically, he really runs out of defensive options. Okay, so attacking my bishop, I move back, and here is where I blundered. So now the game is actually even again, and the reason is my opponent has this move and then takes my rook, which I saw, but I didn't think really anything of it. I thought I was still just winning, but it's actually a drawn position. There's really not much I can do here. In fact, if I just try to go for something like this to try to checkmate, he can't take the pawn because of the bishop, but he can just come here or d7, and after I move away, there's really no way for me to advance this position. He can just play h4 now, and after these checks, there's really nothing here. He's completely fine, and he escapes defeat narrowly. However, fortunately for me, my opponent didn't see that, and he evaluated wrong and played this, and now that just leads to c5, which makes it impossible to stop bishop c6, which leads to checkmate. And after this, my opponent resigned. Anyway, hopefully you found that video helpful. I just want to let you guys know that there's always room for improvement in chess at every level, and evaluation is definitely the toughest part of chess when you move up the ranks. So keep that in mind as you progress. Anyway, if you like that video, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.